Reflections on the good news of Jesus Christ for the feast of Easter from the Gospel according to Luke. At daybreak on the first day of the week, the women who had come from Galilee with Jesus took the spices they had prepared and went to the tomb. They found the stone rolled away from the tomb. But when they entered, they did not find the body of the Lord Jesus. While they were puzzling over this, behold, two men in dazzling garments appeared to them. They were terrified and bowed their faces to the ground. They said to them, "Why do you seek the living among the dead? He is not here, but he has been raised. Remember what he told you while he was still in Galilee, that the Son of Man must be handed over to sinners and be crucified and rise on the third day." And they remembered his words. Then they returned from the tomb and announced all these things to the 11 and to all the others. The women were Mary Magdalene, Joanna, and Mary, the mother of James. The others who accompanied them also told this to the apostles, but their story seemed like nonsense, and they did not believe them. But Peter got up and ran to the tomb, bent down, and saw the burial cloths alone. Then he went home amazed at what had happened. The good news of the Lord. Easter, a feast of bunnies and little ducks, jelly beans and baskets and decorated eggs, and maybe new clothes, too. That's the Easter we celebrate with and for our children, and rightly so. But for us who are adults, if we are to experience the real meaning of this great feast, we must realize and remember that Easter begins in the dark. Always. In all the accounts of the resurrection, Mary, alone or with any number of her companions, comes to the tomb while it is still dark. She feels the pre-dawn darkness around her and within her, a void of hopelessness, a crushing sense of loss, grief that cannot be articulated in any words. Easter begins in the dark of night. If you have ever kept vigil, worried to death at the bedside of a loved one, if you have ever been unable to sleep because of what was to come, if you have ever been overwhelmed by doubt or grief, but have survived nonetheless, Easter has dawned in your life. God has been with you through those long hours. God has embraced you in your isolation. God has come in the morning. Easter begins in the dark earth. Easter is a seed planted in the soil that struggles through the winter hardness to blossom in the spring. If you've ever struggled to change, if you've ever worked hard to remake your life in the wake of loss, hurt, or devastation, Easter has dawned in your life. Easter is that light that reveals death to be not the final ending, but the passageway to the God who first breathed life into you. Easter opens whatever grave that you may have crawled into and calls you forth into the new life of the risen Christ. Easter begins in ashes. If you've ever been swallowed up in dread and hopelessness, if you've ever been hurt, if you've been lost, if you have been terrified, Easter has dawned in your life. No matter how hard we fall, no matter how broken we are, No matter how deep the chasm into which we have fallen, Easter is the risen one who lifts you up and mends your hurt with forgiveness and mercy. Easter is the risen one walking in your midst in the compassion of loved ones, the support of friends, the dedication of saints. Easter begins in the darkness of night, in the seeming finality of earth, in the hopelessness of ashes. But then Easter moves beyond all of those. Easter sings even when the word Alleluia catches in our throats. So do not look for Easter in dogmas and verities. Look for Easter in the small candle that defies the darkness. Look for Easter in the small flower that pierces the cold April earth. Look for Easter in the hand that reaches out to you when all seems hopeless. Easter is the hope-filled morning after the darkest, stormiest night. Easter is the stubborn hope of a God who recreates us and our world until his dream of a humanity bound in his love is finally fulfilled. Easter is to see and hear the risen one walking in our midst. The night has ended. Morning has broken. Hallelujah. Now, go out and find those eggs. Thanks for listening. Please feel free to pass this on to anybody else you think might enjoy it. If you'd like to receive a similar reflection on the Sunday Gospel every week, you're most welcome to subscribe at our website. That's www.justanother.disciple.com. Once again, www.justanother.disciple.com. A blessed Easter to you.